Dorival. Boa noite, Monique Danello, TNT Esportes.
Buenas noches, Monique. Good evening, Monique Daniela, Taste Sports, or TNT Sports. I wanted to discuss this victory that's very important. It creates confidence, and I wanted to ask about Vinicius Júnior. Today, he provided the expected performance, and I think he was also expecting that performance. It is at the level of what he is as a player, but in his statement, he criticized harshly Conmebol. Can you comment on his statement and his performance? Do you agree with him? Do you agree with what he said on the pitch, on the officiating? He wasn't very specific. So what bothered him? I'm sorry, but I have no idea about his sayings. I prefer not to comment on that. I think that he was very well marked in the last match. There was always a 2v1, and there were three players very well positioned on the left and the right. And it is not that he didn't try. To the contrary, most of the plays showed him with great eagerness, and today the opponent performed in a completely different way to the previous opponent. To me, that is of the essence. Maybe we didn't have the ball possession we had in the last match, but our effectiveness was greater. And I think we challenged the opponent in every sense. In particular, when we had 1v1s, given the game plan on which we worked and the positioning on which we worked. Thiago Reis, good evening. Well, we observed that we learned about Dudu's passing during the match. What did he mean to you? And do you have a take on Savinho as a starter? I think it was the right decision. He brought about the result. And once more, I am really sorry about that passing. Well, Dudu was a reference to me as a player, as a coach, but especially as a human being. He was always worrying about everyone else but himself. He was a role model to me. I always wanted to follow his steps. He wore 3 jerseys in his life: Ferroviaria, Palmeiras, and the national team. To me, he means a great lot. In addition to the amazing life history he had, I think I never met anyone like him. He was a second father to me. He guided me at every time in my life. And when I chose his same profession, but I know that he will move on to the next plane with great peace. He was very spiritual. And the last time that I was with him, 20 or 30 days ago, I imagined that could be the last time together. In the case of Savinho, he was one of the alternatives. I think they are all very well prepared, and I have no doubt that we will make everyone play based on our needs through different substitutions. I think they will have the opportunity because they are players of a great level, and they have to be challenged at all times. They worked really hard. They dedicated themselves at large to pay tribute to this jersey, and they deserve all the praise they are receiving. They are very committed and focused on providing and delivering for the fans. I really believe in this roster. Dorival, at the beginning of the match, we saw a different game plan. Paqueta was not being able to move forward on the left, and then he did so, but without the ball. And Joao did that on the other side to team up with Savinho in the midfield. Can you explain what was your thought process behind that modification? Well, Enciso is a very intelligent player, and he was fluctuating between the lines, and Paqueta was forced to play it down, facilitating the approximation by the opponent's midfielders. So through that modification, we placed Bruno in a stronger position. He was able to play a bit more vertically, and Joao was paying attention to Enciso's entries, and we countered a bit more what they were trying to propose. And then we also moved Rodrigo towards the right flank so that he could team up with Savinho, that was a bit isolated and alone in his area. And the team has a great level of diversity. So if I have to make modifications, I can modify the roles, and the team clearly understands what we are doing. They provide me with great alternatives. And there was Eder. He was playing as a second or third man in the midfield. So when he opened, it was a bit more complicated. So then we had Vini that could seize the spaces a bit more. Those were important moments during the match and essential to achieve this great victory. Hello. It's a great pleasure to be here. We know and we have faith that in the fact that Dudu is with other athletes and players in heaven. And today I want to ask a question about individualism and teaming up. Today we had the hero of individualism, that is the Vini of the Real Madrid, that finally arrived. But then we need a cooperative association to achieve the result, the 4-1. Do you agree? Well, I think that we did that very well in the last match. We did not see the goals, but we had a great performance with great moments. We held firmly. And there were some hindrances or challenges for us. But today we played a different match against a different opponent that played in a different way and also went out to play and create opportunities like Brazil. So it is an important fact because it shows that we are ready to play against a team with a low marking line, and that we can play at and level up and play at their same level. And I think the individual talent of some players made a difference so that we could win by a landslide. And Fernando Barros, Publimetro, my condolences to you and your family on the passing of Dudu. Two things. In the locker room, there was no celebration, music. I think the team is still very concentrated. Can you confirm that? And can you share with us your analysis on Vinicius' performance today? Well, it is natural. It is only natural. I have won, lost matches with music, without music in the locker room. That is not an issue because from the moment that we say 5 minutes to warm up, everything is shut down and we get into the match. Each player is different. Sometimes they hear or they listen to music, they listen to messages people send to them, and they know when it's time to do things and when to avoid them. Some of them hear or listen to religious songs, so they have that freedom, but they are all very responsible and they take the responsibility. And Vinicius, yes, today he played an almost perfect match. He created very good situations, opportunities. He was dynamic, effective, very straightforward and direct, and playing with other players and teaming up very well. He has great capacity. Good evening, Dorival. My condolences for his passing. I knew about your relationship with Dudu. I wanted to ask about patience and maturity. Are these the two faces of the same coin? Or are you satisfied? Are you pleased with the performance? And on Paqueta, he missed a penalty kick, but then he assisted and converted another penalty kick. Are you concerned about the cautions and in particular, those yellow cards that are shown for bad attitudes on the pitch? How do you manage that? Well, patience is a very important element to us. It's been there for the two matches in Copa America and the friendlies. There is an expectation created, and there was a certain level of disappointment for the lack of results in the first match. But I think that our performance was of a great level. I am referring to the behavior or the performance that you expect from a team. And we are working in that sense with this formation. We only had 20 days to prepare 4 matches with 4 different opponents and also having different game plans. So we've made great progress in very little time. They were very fruitful days. We almost never have 20 days to work together. And hopefully this will happen in the World Cup as well. To me, the engagement of the players, their understanding was essential, jointly with their level of concentration, so that we could correct everything that we observed in one match to the next one. That was very positive. And also, it's worth noting the individual talent because we're finding the lines of attack, and we have Vinicius, Rodrigo, Paqueta, Savinho, Rafinha, some others that have not entered into the pitch yet, Gabriel, Pepe, Vanilson. And beyond that, we are finding a path that was very important and that we achieved with the training. And I told you, be patient because this team is treading on the right path. Of course, we will start reducing the volume of training or the number of training sessions, but we will keep on working and the team will continue strong. Rayo Gaúcha, the next match is against Colombia. It is a team that has been working very intensively in the qualifiers and in the Copa America. Lately, Brazil is not being considered a favorite. How do you compare the work today of Brazil or its performance with Colombia, with the results, the long-term results Colombia has been achieving? We always draw the attention of the continent. We have players in several teams in major leagues. And not only Colombia is achieving that, Colombia is enjoying that situation, but Venezuela as well. The world or the football is changing globally here in Europe, in Asia, in the Arab world. Now it's not easy to beat an opponent. There are surprises here in our continent and in Europe. The matches are very even and tough, and I think that we'll have a match of a very high level with players that know each other, that usually play against each other. And these are different teams that are undergoing different moments, but I have no doubts that Brazil will perform at the highest level. And I expect that it will be better than these two first matches. Francisco Rueda from Vito TVO. Coach, you just mentioned the surprises of this Copa America. For instance, Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, that are creating a lot of buzz, and you have the favorites like Uruguay, Brazil, Argentina. Given the level of these teams, do you think that there is one favorite above all that will be the title holder of this Copa America after the matches that we already seen, or that we have already seen, or do you think that there are greater surprises that we can see in the future? I think that in this continent there are three teams that draw everyone's attention. Argentina, World Cup champion, Copa America champion. They deserve respect. Colombia, that is growing greatly, and Uruguay, that has been performing perfectly well with a very strong foundation, and that has been under generational renovation for a couple of years. So this is a very consistent generation right now. We have to be cautious. In parallel, there are other teams that also draw the attention of everyone, and they are no surprise. This has been going on for a while. Maybe we weren't paying enough attention or the attention they deserved, but I think we do have to be cautious because nowadays every match requires extreme concentration. There are no matches that can be easily defined right now. If you are distracted, you are running a great risk. To me, Brazil is slowly getting under that spotlight as well. It was always a very respected team, and I was told that maybe, well, Brazil was not a favorite to win this Copa America. Well, we have to face the music, and I have no doubts that with the work that these players are doing, we will recover. My condolences, Coach. We are in Copa America, but if we talk about the World Cup, We know that Brazil used to think that it has to play all over the pitch. And usually they start with a game plan and they modify it. So today you went in with a game plan and a formation and you changed it. You had worked with Hendrik and Savinho. But will this be a trend? Will you also change the formation against Colombia? You have made a reference already, but I would like you to maybe dive deep into it. Will there be a different formation? Okay, we'll see how they recover. There are many matches. We have 4 days of recovery from one match to the next. They are coming from the end of their own seasons. And not only in the case of Brazil, but in every team, players have some muscle discomfort, they are worn down, and there are other players that are still playing right now in Brazil. So we have to see their condition tomorrow and we'll make decisions. We will surely make changes. I don't know in which area or what modifications yet.